Thank you guys for having me. Oh, thank you. This guy's great. Give a round of applause to Xander for organizing this. Isn't he amazing? This is such a great conference. I mean, I think that anybody who comes to the conference every year and again knows that it's great speakers, it's great content, but it's also a really amazing audience. Yeah, great photographers and all that, paparazzi here. So this is my second time speaking, and the last time I spoke was 3 years ago. I'd been in business for a year. Co-Support is a customer experience agency. We teach and train companies of all sizes how to do amazing customer support. Sometimes that includes us implementing the support for them, where we actually handle their email or social support, or we write their help documentation. But mostly, it's a long process of us evaluating what people are doing, the customer support that they're providing, the good and the bad, and then helping them make it better. We also wrote a book. We actually wrote the book on customer support. I can actually say that now. It's extremely cheap on Amazon. And by the way, if you ever think about like you want to become an expert in something and write a book and put it on Amazon, I want you to know that you will get rich very quickly, and it's really easy. I get checks like this every month. The one time I got a check for $17 from someone in Finland. So that was like 140 books, I think, at that cost. But anyway, if you're in Turkey, thank you. One of the other things, too, that you might have noticed is that I call it customer support. I do not call it customer service. How many of you guys call it customer service? Raise your hand, shrug. I don't call it customer service for a reason, and that's because when I think of customer service, I think of the return line at Walmart, or I think of like a gas station employee, or I think about calling Comcast. And so what we like to do is to teach our customers that it's better to be a little bit more intentional and elevate the support that you're offering to your customers rather than just be Walmart, right? There's this idea that we like to talk about a lot, the transactional versus the relational. Transactional support is really easy. It's a help link at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, or it's a really crappy help section that you wrote at midnight one night just trying to stop people from emailing you, or it's a phone call that people have to make. Whereas a more relational support is the stuff that you've been hearing about from everybody talking on stage about the way that we keep customers engaged, keep them loyal, keep them interested in our product, and also keep them educated about what the product can do for them. So that's the difference between customer service, customer support. Customer support is not a transactional experience. It's a habitual experience that a customer has with your product. It's your pricing, it's your marketing, it's your splash pages, it's your tutorials, it's your social media accounts. All of that comes together to be customer support. So when we think about it, we think about customer support, great customer support, exceptional customer support being very intentional. It's something that you actually choose to make it great. You choose to plan for it and hire for it and actually do it well. We're going to talk today about customer support myths. There's just 3 of them that we see historically have been problems for people that are either single founders, launching a business, launching a startup within their first year of business. So all of this hopefully relates to everyone who wants to build a business. Who has launched a business? Raise your hands. Wow, you guys are awesome. Who does customer support for your business? It should be all of the exact same people and probably more. So this is for you. Ready? Myth number 1, I can do support by myself, then we'll just hire an intern to do it. So you'd be surprised right now, the word intern is so archaic. It's so historical and ancient, but people still actually hire idiots in college to do customer support. And we're talking like big companies, like Toyota has interns on social media. Toyota is a huge company and they just don't pay people. That means that they don't really value that. When I hear I'm gonna do it myself or I'm gonna hire an intern, I think automatically, what are you investing monetarily in this role? That means you don't value it. Now, I love the fact that people, founders, single founders, are involved in customer support from day one. I think you should be. I think you should know what customers are asking, what they're interested in. But customer support is actually a very difficult job. I know it's a very difficult job because I did this job for a long time, and now I teach people how to do this job. It takes a very specific type of personality to do this job well. And when we're hiring for people to do customer support, whether it's for a software company or even like a retail company, there are basic requirements that we have to think about. Does this person embody every single one of these? And if you look at these, you're noticing that most of these are not just acquired skills. Most of these are innate to their personality. Someone who's empathetic and has thick skin and who's tenacious and kind. Kindness is one of the most overlooked traits for hiring customer support people. So if you're doing customer support, or you just plan on doing customer support for the rest of the existence of your company, you have to sort of think, do I embody all of these things, as well as being a founder and knowing my business and knowing my product? The reason that all of this stuff is really important to focus on when hiring is because customers have baggage. Customers hate customer support. They hate customer service. We all have baggage. I'm not sure how many of you guys ever read The Oatmeal, but he has this great comic about why I would rather be punched in the testicles than call customer service. And pretty much this is what I deal with on a daily basis. This is what people bring to the table. And this is not just people who go to Walmart and go to gas stations. This is people who buy software and spend $49 a month. You talk about churn and loyalty and all this, kind of stuff. We also have to think about the emotional investment that people have, where if they run into a problem in a free trial or after they've only paid $49 and they can't get an answer themselves and they think, oh, I have to call customer support, they're probably just not going to deal with it. They're probably going to cancel or stop using the product if they run into a problem because they don't want to deal with your support. So hiring for customer support, you have to think about what is their emotional intelligence? What is their personality type? Customer support is not this sort of throwaway position that anyone can do. And the way that I like to think about it is my personality, because I was built to do customer support. I'm highly extroverted, I'm highly personable, I don't get kind of burnt out on people. And so I think about, if this is not you, if this is not how you think about answering every single customer support email, you probably aren't the right person for the job. So that's unfortunately me most days. So before you're going to hire someone, the best thing that we say is start eliminating incoming support. Start paring it down. Start doing whatever you can to eliminate as much customer support need as possible. That starts with having a searchable and accessible help section. Can you guys see these slides okay? Can you see the text okay? So having a searchable and accessible help section means not something hidden at the bottom of your web page. I always see you guys have like the black footer and it's like these tiny links. Like if I'm a customer and I need help, I want it like a big part of your application includes the fact that it's intuitive and I can find answers, right? Use questions of friends, family, and early testers to create articles and tutorials. Everyone has a FAQ page. You don't have FAQs. No one's frequently asked you anything. But you can be preemptive about what you know customers might have questions about, confusion they may have. There's like a big 20 list of questions you should always have in your help section. How do I cancel should be the #1 thing. Everyone's very scared of me saying that because we're supposed to pretend we're going to hide cancellations. Boom, how do I cancel? If I'm a customer signing up, you're charging me $99, and one of the first things that you say is, how do I cancel? It doesn't translate to my mind as this is a piece of shit software they don't even want me buying. It means like, okay, they have confidence in this, I can keep reading, I can keep learning more. Education should be as prominent as your pricing. I kind of said it before, like I hate the little tiny help links. Customers hate it too. And the little tiny help links usually mean this is an afterthought to us, it's not really that important. But your education should be as prominent as any other feature that's on your website. If I'm starting to use your product, I want to know that if I have a problem, I can answer the question myself. The ease of use should be considered, ease of using an education should be considered a feature you can market. Same thing. Put it big and bold, invest the time in it, find someone to write you an amazing help section. That's what we do if you want to hire us. It's easy to do. So when do you hire? How many of you guys have been in business for more than 1 year? 2 years? 3 years? Okay, of the people who've been in business for 3 years, start shouting out to me, when did you decide to turn over customer support to someone else? What year? Year 3? Year 2. 3? Haven't done it yet. Pretty average. That's pretty average. We live in a very bizarro culture where somebody said 5 years ago, founders should do support. Well, that's awesome if you want to sit there and do support, but most of the time, founders shouldn't be doing support. They shouldn't be doing support if they're not doing it well. So here's my markers for when you should hire somebody else to do support for your business. You receive more than 20 emails a day. End of story. That should be an automatic marker for anyone. 20 customer emails a day, it's time to hire somebody else to do it. Your customers' needs are outgrowing the time you have to invest in those needs. And secondly, if you're starting to see customer support as like this burden, like this shitty thing that you have to do at the end of the day that you're not excited about, and then it's just like, ugh, I have to get to my support emails, stop doing support. And finally, probably the easiest barometer is if you just hate people. If this is you, when you think about customer support, it's time to hire somebody else. There's no shame in it. There's no shame in hiring somebody who's great at support to do it better than you. Okay? So then who do you hire? It's actually completely okay to outsource or contract. We contract design work all the time. We contract conference organizing all the time. We contract devs all the time. There's people out there that do customer support on contract work. That's what co-support does for a lot of people. About 50% of our business is outsourced support for startups or software companies. Ask for writing samples and test with support scenarios. Please do not put a job board ad about that you're looking for a customer service professional, must be great communication skills. Be conversational, be relational, and ask them, I need to know what you would write to a customer if they wrote you this specific scenario. You will weed out a lot of bad personalities and bad hires by getting really specific examples over, job experience. Great candidates are baristas, bartenders, librarians, any hospitality alumni, any people who are used to dealing with like exploding sprinklers and know how to handle it really well. They're probably great with customers, probably great for a reason. I poach people from Starbucks all the time. I carry recruiting cards all the time, and I travel a lot. So anytime I find someone who's amazing, who gives me great service, I'm always asking for their information because that, to me, is a qualified candidate who's awesome working with customers. Think of support hires important as your next dev or designer. That includes salary. If you're hiring someone on contract to do customer support, probably you're going to be hiring them hourly between the 20 and 24 an hour range. It's just as important as anything else. And then finally, give them title, influence, trust, authority, whatever you think will make them a part of your company roadmap and a part of your company's influence with customers, with anything else. They need to know that they are just as important as anyone else on your team. So, any questions on that? No? Well, hold them to the end. So, customer support myth number 2, we'll do what everyone else is doing and it'll be fine. I don't think that a lot of people say this out loud. I don't think that people just say, oh, I'm just going to do what everyone else is saying. But we think it all the time. We go to our competitors' web pages and we see what they're doing, but the problem is everybody else is doing crap support. Nobody out there, just in the normal world, is doing exceptional support, probably besides about 10% of businesses that are actively running. So we're going to focus on one thing that makes their support so crappy, and that's the language that they use with customers. And this is an experiment that if you've seen me speak before, you've probably seen me do this experiment. We run it every 6 months, every single year. We do secret shopping of huge, well-known national, international brands. So this is who we contacted this time. You guys recognize these names. I think this was done in November. There's 64 more names on this list, but all of these names are people that we contacted through their direct customer service channel, which means not logged into an account, not using live chat or intercom, but actually through the help link, contact support, write your email. We send them all the exact same email, then we average their responses. And that's how we kind of get a gauge on what people are saying to their customers. So this is who wrote back of that list. These people plus 12 more. That's pretty average. Sometimes the number's lower, sometimes it's more. Sometimes we just get form letters back, but we count that as a response if that's all we hear from them. So here's the average email that we received back from the people who actually did choose to respond to the customers. Almost every single one of them started with hello, no name. And I hate this so much. I hate hello. I know that culturally, internationally, hello seems very polite. I hate it. It's a bullshit thing to start an email with. So, yeah, it's totally bullshit. And I've been telling people this for 5 years. I have these LG appliances in my home, and every single time I start the washing machine, it says, hello. So this is my washing machine's version of communication that you're using to contact customers. It's terrible. Stop it. Next, the average response that we got to feature request email, I think the email is like something you could add but aren't adding, right? So the average email, thank you for contacting our customer service team. Unfortunately, we have no plans to add new features to our product at this time. We appreciate your feedback and hope that you continue to enjoy using our product. Reply to this email if you have more questions or comments. Sincerely, again, hate it, horrible, the product team, in a continuing effort to provide our customers with the best possible product experience. Blah, I'm not even going to read it. Click here to take our survey. This is the bullshit stuff we got back from people. And if you look at all of these words I've highlighted, terrible words to be writing people. Because when someone writes you a feature request, I know that we all sort of like, ugh, seriously, we're supposed to say no to feature requests. Well, no, you're supposed to say, wow, here's a person interested in continuing to use my product. They want to use it more. They want to have new ways to use my product, and they took the time to ask. Those are actually really valuable emails. And most of the time, they get a crappy form letter back. This part that I crossed out, that's just my rage. I just crossed it out. It's just like I can't even handle it. And that we copied and pasted from PayPal. That's at the bottom of almost every single one of their emails. Just I had to include it. So how do you do better? How do you do better if you don't want to do what everyone else is doing? Because again, everyone's doing crap support. Well, this is how I would have written this email. Hi, Rob. I would have used the person's name. I would have used an exclamation point. I know like people like Joanna probably hate exclamation points. I use them all the time. Obviously, I do. Thanks for the great idea. It's one we've heard before, and we're definitely going to consider it. It may not be something we're able to add right away, and we always like to make sure before we add new features that it can benefit the majority of our users. Don't be too disappointed if we aren't able to add this feature. It's still awesome of you to suggest it. Thanks again, and let me know if you need anything else. Which email's better? This email right here is a form letter. It's a form letter we train people on when they don't know how to answer feature requests. We basically, all they have to do is insert the feature that they requested and the person's name and send it out. But if you were a customer and you got that back from PayPal or you got that back from Dropbox, that would be shocking to get because it's not what you're expecting because your baggage tells you you're going to get a crap response. So imagine if you're starting a company and let's say you've been in business for 2 months and you start sending stuff like this out to customers. This customer thinks that they're having a conversation with you, a relationship with you, like it's real live friends talking to friends, and they're going to continue to want to be in that relationship with you. Language changes everything about the way that customers perceive us. And I have a lot of experience and numbers and demographics and whatever to tell you about why I can prove to you that language really does change everything. It's really true. But I'm just going to talk about one little experiment we just did recently. We just wrapped up a project, a 6-month-long project with an airline, evaluating all of their customer support. That means that we read hundreds of thousands of emails and hundreds of thousands of reviews online, and pretty much everyone hated this airline. And I'm not going to say their name. But what we found out was that probably a lot of the reasons that customers hated this airline and hated their customer support was because they were saying things in emails like, did you even read my email? Thanks for the form reply. Oh, thanks for the stock answer. We were seeing that over and over and over. I wrote their support team and I just got this stupid stock response. So we started there and we went into their offices, their corporate offices, where all of their customer support team was. We did training. We said, you are never allowed to use this word again. You can't use this phrase. You are supposed to use this. And I know it works because their customer satisfaction rating went to 34%, from 34% to 89% in about 2 months, and all we changed was language. Those same people that were writing reviews and responding to emails saying, what the crap with your stupid language, I hate you, were now saying, okay, I get it, not that bad. They were responding, thank you so much. We started seeing customers respond back with, awesome, great to hear, thanks for the link, thanks for your help. And they really meant it. And all we did with that was change the words we used. So some of the more basic structures of what other people are saying that you shouldn't ever be saying, thank you for your feedback. Anyone who knows me, Richard and Justin and Eric, they know that I hate this word. And if I'm in the middle of a conversation with someone and we're having like a face-to-face, eye-to-eye meeting and they say feedback, I will stop them. I will interrupt them. I will be an asshole and say, please don't ever use that word. Because it doesn't mean anything. It's just what you've heard other people say. It's just what Citibank said to you, and it's what Chase says to you, and American Airlines says to you when you say, why did you cancel my flight? But thanks for telling me how you feel about this. Thanks for your ideas. Thanks for sharing your insight. That sounds like a real human being really said those things, and they actually meant it. So why is it so difficult for us to sort of transition that language that we use with customers into how we speak to them face to face? Another one, we apologize for the inconvenience. Who said this? I've said this. I've written it before. I feel terrible about it. But customers are used to hearing this. Remember the baggage. They're used to hearing this. We should be saying something that's a lot more personable. I'm so sorry that this happened. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I always use the analogy that I can change the analogy now. If I was at a conference standing under a sprinkler that went off, Rob would never say to me, I'm sorry for the inconvenience. He would never say that to me. He would say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? I'm so sorry that happened. Listen, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that happened. And maybe down the line, the next time we talk over email or something in 6 months, he's like, gosh, I'm so sorry that happened again. I hope everything's okay. That's how we should be talking to customers. If you're a business and you're a new business and you want people to sign up, you'd never ask them to go to Kinko's and print out a sign-up form and fill it out with a pen and then fax it back to you. We'd never do that. So why are we okay using language that's irrelevant? It's irrelevant like old technology. Really quickly, empty words, never use these ever again. We can talk about it later at lunch or afternoons. If you guys have questions about these, we can go into more detail. Try to replace them with these full words. Try to get used to saying you're right to customers who are angry. Thanks for sharing your thoughts, ideas, insight. It's empowering for customers. They need to hear this. Okay, the last customer support myth. We can just figure things out as we go along. Customer support is a total afterthought, and if it's an afterthought to you, it's an afterthought to everyone. But this story that I'm going to tell you, hopefully I've gotten across. I'm passionate about this subject, probably more than most. And this is a story that happened to me recently. It's a bad support story. So I'm just setting the tone here that I'm gonna go off the reservation a little bit with my rage about this story. So most people know that there's people are doing private Kickstarters now. It's like this new thing where instead of doing Kickstarter, we just raise funds on our own website for something. And I participated in one of these because I was really excited about this product called Ringly. Who's heard of Ringly? Anyone? Few people. It's an awesome product. It's a beautiful piece of custom-made, really high-end jewelry that acts as wearable technology. It gives you a little light ping, a little buzz on your finger when you get specific customized notifications. What? Amazing, amazing. I bought 3. Now look at the prices. Look at the prices down here. That is a lot of money, okay? But I'm passionate about this idea, and I'm like, holy crap. I can coordinate this with everything I wear. I was really excited about it. I pre-ordered in May of last year, so it's almost been a year. So then, in December of this year, I was like, what the heck? Where are those rings I ordered? And I started like, what the heck? I mean, obviously, clearly that's the kind of life I lead, that I couldn't remember something I did in May. I hadn't gotten them yet, so I started looking on their social media, thinking like, did they send them and I didn't get mine? Maybe it's my problem, right? And what I saw was pictures like this of the Ringly founders hanging out at the Wynn in Las Vegas, taking pictures. I don't know how many of you ever stayed at the Wynn in Las Vegas, but my 3 rings probably paid for half a night there. And people commenting on Instagram, I was wondering when spring shipments from last year will actually be sent. Hey, in February, I was told it was 3 to 4 weeks for shipping my August order. It's been 4 weeks now. Another person, we need an official poll somewhere asking how many people received defective Ringlys. And then one person says, too bad about these reviews. I was going to purchase one, but I'll just wait until they get the kinks out. Good luck keeping your business. Ouch. Then we look at this thread, Notice very few responses from the team, but with the one that stands out, I understand the concept of a startup, but delays in shipping and vague details is unacceptable. That's not even me. Usually I'm the one telling people stuff is unacceptable, and that's a real person other than me saying that, which means I'm not wrong, right? I have it in print. I took a screenshot. It's not just me. So then last week, I still haven't gotten these rings, by the way. I did get one. It was defective. I sent it back a month ago, haven't gotten the refund, but I didn't get the other ones. I noticed this on Twitter because I'm trying to figure out what the heck, right? This girl says, okay, wait, so you're available at Bloomingdale's and ShopBot, but some of us who pre-ordered in August haven't gotten them yet? Not cool. And Ringly, being just a normal old, what everyone else is doing kind of company, responds, we'd be happy to check on the status of your order. Where the customer is like, I already emailed you. Also, it took you 4 days to notice this tweet. It took you 4 days to notice this tweet. You took our money. So this is where I get really off the reservation because this is the moment where you see my true colors. 4 days, unacceptable. 4 days, ridiculous. Ridiculous amount of time. Patrick flew here from Tokyo in less than 4 days. Thomas, where's Thomas? Thomas flew here 20 hours, still less than 4 days. I drove from Chicago to California, less than 4 days. It took me 3.5 days to get there. The Battle of Waterloo, less than 4 days. An entire nation's history was changed in less than 4 days. And if we're going to talk about wars, wars have been won and fought in 4 times less than 4 days. So clearly, I'm passionate about this. Clearly, I'm annoyed because I think that if customers are paying you money, you have an obligation to respond to them with as much truth and as much speed as possible. This is what Ringly said. As first-time business owners, we are working hard to improve customer service. Thank you for your patience, which was a day later. So, moral of the story. If none of you, if anyone in this room takes 4 days to respond to a customer, please leave or face my rage. Because it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable that you're just figuring it out. It's not acceptable that you've never done it before. People are buying things. People are paying your rent. You owe them a reply. If someone's paying you money and using your product and supporting your idea, you owe them properly planned and well-executed support. End of story, no excuses. And the words that need to stick out for everyone are properly planned and well-executed. Those are things that go hand in hand. You can't have one or the other, trust me. You can't just properly plan to have a crappy intern do crappy support for you. It has to be all together. So, to recap, be sensitive to your customers' baggage. We all have it. They all have it. And remember, there's no more new ideas. So most of the time, you've come up with a product or an idea that other people have probably tried to do, and some of your customers probably tried that product and didn't like it. They've got baggage. Be relational, not transactional. Eliminate support with as much education as you can. Empower your customers to find their own answers to their own problems without having to contact you. Hire the right person for your customers. It may not be you. It's probably not you. That's okay. It's okay. Language changes everything. Be intentional with yours and respond to everyone and everything always. So the last point here, people always ask me this, what kind of support should I do? What help desk should I use? How many people should I hire? I don't believe that there's any right support. I don't believe that there's a prescription to this, and I don't think there's just a template. All I know is the stuff I told you before, if you have that stuff going for you, doesn't matter what help desk you use. It doesn't matter what tools you use if you've got the great foundation behind you of the kind of exceptional support you're going to provide. Anything that meets your customers' individual needs, their expectations, and their individual end game is what's going to be right for your product. So that's it for me. We're going to do questions, answers.